Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the news. That's right, it's Friday morning, and we got news for you. But before the news, weather. Fernando.
Dean, how are you today?
I'm good. What's the weather going to be like?
Today is a regular 80s. The high is going to be 90s. So, everything is a 90. It feels like 100. So it's going to be hot today.
It's been a brutal summer.
Yes.
But I feel it's been a brutal summer for everybody. So,
but other than that, it's going to be beautiful.
Oh, it's always palm trees and beaches, man. It's all about palm trees and beaches. We don't need to go anywhere. Springfield checking in at 56. With a high of 70. Almost time for a long pants here. Not in 70s. Morning, clear in 52 in the upper Pacific Northwest. It's funny you mentioned long pants. I bought pants because I used to just have like 2 pair of pants. But since we travel, I buy pants. I never wear them here, but they just sit in a bin on my dresser for when we go on trips. I pull them out and I throw them in my backpack. It's so weird. Morning. I'll be driving and listening today. Hot news. There you go. Dynamic. Morning from VC. Morning, Dave.
What's up?
That sounds like a movie. But
morning,
good morning, guys. 62 and sunny in North Carolina. High of 79. That sounds beautiful. It's nice that we're finally getting some what seems like nice weather all across the country. I'm sure Arizona and Texas are still just an armpit, but hey, it's what happens. Did you ever see the Robin Williams movie, Good Morning Vietnam?
No.
It is a classic, really good movie. Probably still holds up today.
Okay.
He's a DJ. He gets brought in to host a morning show, and then he starts out every morning with Good Morning Vietnam. You've probably seen the memes.
Okay.
Because it's him in front of a microphone, and there's all kinds of memes of it.
Yeah.
But Adrian Cronauer, I think is his name. Don't ask me. Anyways, it's really good music, 70s, 60s, 70s music.
Okay.
There's a point to it all.
Yeah.
But it's probably one of his best movies that he's ever done. There's no doubt about it. 70 to 82, cloudy with rain from the cardio capital of the world. Badly needed a cool. There we go. So Texas, it's getting a little cooler and they're getting a little rain.
Very nice.
Buenos dias, amigos.
What's up? Buenos dias. It's coming.
We talked about tacos yesterday. And
today is Independence Day.
For Mexico?
Mexico. Yeah.
Who are they getting independence from?
For everybody.
No, I mean, but what battle did they fight? Were they France? Okay. Damn French. Hey, we fought the French too. We fought the British for our independence, but then we had the French-American War. We had we had a lot.
Why the French always took everything?
Well, because it was it was colonialism. I mean, that's what we did. I mean, that was
It seems like
the first guy to the party takes over the party, and then eventually it has to be kicked out of the party.
That was France.
Yeah. Great show last night, Dean. Fantastic explanation on tuning. I'm glad you remember that. I was having a rough night, and I just kind of went on autopilot and banged right through it. I had some sugar. Life was good.
Did you say some nonsense?
No. We just talked about tuning a radio and tuning in general. And
tuning a radio?
Yeah. Okay. Our process that we have for doing that. Car gift in the house. Checking in from Portugal. We need a new intro to the news, like intro from Hard Copy. I don't know. I'm still partial to that intro, man. It's like, I know it's long, and it's almost somewhat depressing when I watch it. The news, our news intro, because it's like all those good times we had.
Yeah.
But I like to be remembered of, because I always forget And then when you press play,
Dude,
it's
that was
like,
so hard to
man.
find all those clips.
Oh, I know.
From all these years.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my gosh.
But it's definitely.
Yeah, but
I like it. I don't think we need to change it yet.
No, not yet. But like, yeah, I can see.
And you're gonna have to come up with something spectacular because.
Oh my gosh.
You know.
Slow down.
Hey.
Hey.
Hope everyone's having a good morning.
Everybody's having a good morning.
That Vietnam movie is good, and it does hold up. Well, there you go. All right, Orlando checking in 79 with a high of 89.
Mm-hmm.
Orlando wasn't too bad last weekend. It was definitely cooler than that. That was nice. So it's Francis Cinco de Mayo.
Francis Cinco de Mayo. There you go.
All right, so let's see what we got here. Jamaica. Good morning. That's cool. Good morning, guys. Thanks for making my Jeep sound awesome. You guys are the best. I'm glad we managed to do that. That's awesome. I'm glad you liked it as always. And then good morning. Hola. So we have some news for you today. We've scoured the interwebs. By that we mean we headed over to wrong button. Oh my gosh, it's just going off the rails already. We headed over to CE Outlook, where her and her team have put together a great little team of one. Put together the news, and we of course head over there.
It's three people.
Is it?
They work there.
Me, myself, and I?
No. It's actually 3 people working there.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Anyways, we went over there. We stole some stories, and we thought about them, and we came up with our own little spin. And today we're going to debate. If you caught last week's show, Fernando and I had a wonderful time. I think you should, if you didn't get to catch it, you should go back and watch next week's or last week's.
Last week.
It's okay. It doesn't matter. But let's get right into it. Here we go. Ooh, CMA Expo returns in 2024. If you're living north of us in Canada, and you're a retailer, you're definitely going to want to make sure that you make this. That's the CMA Expo. I got the privilege of going last year with Automobility, which I'm on track right now to go back with them to this fantastic show. It was definitely one of the highlights of last year in my traveling, whatever we want to call that. I had a wonderful time. Frank and the guys, Ben, they put on a wonderful show. It was freaking cool.
Yeah.
So if you're in Canada and you're in the industry, you definitely want to check that out. Moving over to the U.S., if you're an Orca dealer, Orca Master Tech fall training is set to come up here next month, October 13th, which is really the 12th through the 17th. We're going to be out there. As of right now, we're scheduled to be there doing some classes, filming some stuff, and making you popular so that when the next training rolls around, you might be the one guy telling everyone how much fun you had. It is an event of all events. It's 4 days of intensive or 3 days of intensive training. 13, 14, 15, 16. 4 days of intensive training that,
that's what
I had to think about it because it starts at 13. Yeah, I know. It's fantastic. If there is a buy-in that you have to do to be eligible to go, but it's worth every penny. And I know with the economy and all that crap, it's still, I would definitely check it out. If you haven't made it, we've been twice not in an attendance aspect of it, but just as recording the event and doing some training. And we've always had a good time. And everyone that is there has an amazing time. And they walk away with their heads just exploded. It's like the Garbage Pail Kids thing where it's just because Brian puts together a machine gun of class techniques that you just like, it's one after the other. And it's insane.
No, it's awesome.
The hands-on is just incredible. Moving on to product news. NavTV exits aftermarket. Now, some of you guys may have never heard of NavTV other than when we talk about it and say Zen A to B, Zen whatever. Zen modules are their thing. That is what they've made. Oh, speaking of, there he is. Boston Mike, intense training and eating. I learned a ton again. Another belt size every time I go, worth it. That's where we hooked up. We've known Boston Mike for a while, but we got to spend 4 days with him.
That was awesome.
And we learned way more about him than we ever needed to know.
That is correct.
But it just makes it for a good story.
I have a picture of that now.
Yes. Diet Coke and a sandwich. Anyways, moving on. NavTV has been in business for a very long time. The reason why they're called NavTV is because back in the day, they started making interfaces. So if your car had navigation, factory navigation in the dash with the external brain box, they made an RGB connector so that you could get video into the dash. That was like their main piece that they made. That evolved into a plethora of different things, adding backup cameras to factory radios, and of course, adding amplifier integration. They were first to have the A to B piece. They were first and still some of the only products available for Mercedes and BMW and just oddball cars like that just no one wanted to touch. And they are saying, you know what? We've had enough of this crap. And they have other interests that they have been doing over the years, moving in different directions outside of the 12-volt genre.
Yeah.
And they've decided that it's time to just wrap it up, which honestly, as a customer of theirs, you could kind of see the writing on the wall. They really haven't putting a lot of attention into it. And they're an expensive brand. Like, they make products that nobody else makes. It's kind of been their thing. So they've been able to command a pretty hefty price point for them, which is fine. I have no problem. If you're the only game in town, you're going to pay the price, right?
Well, I feel that when they came out very strong, right? Because the pieces, they didn't exist. They have the only one. So everybody was involved. And in the past few years, they just fall down and it just.
Yeah, and so anyways, so they're basically mapped out the company, this side of it, that is 12 volt is going to start to wrap up. They're going to, over the next 12 months, it's going to be a very slow burnout.
Yeah.
They're also looking to sell intellectual property. So, for example, if somebody wanted to buy the Zen production from them, it is going to be available, or buy the intellectual property from them to make it themselves. They are going to sell that to whoever wants to buy it.
Now, one of those things, if you still have a Zen module, you have something in stock, you still got a year warranty from the day you purchase that module. So.
However, everything will expire on September of 2024. So whether you like it or not. Yeah. What's up, Marty? Oh, and look who it is. It's Christian.
Yeah.
Installed my last Zen module yesterday. Good morning, guys. And there again, they'll still be available for another couple months. Anyone that's in the industry that's been buying from them kind of knows that, like, things haven't been great. I mean, yeah. So in like on the Facebook page that this was posted on, dude, they just got roasted in the comments. Yeah. So I can tell you the answer to that is probably no. Yeah. And there's a lot of inside ball on that we can't get into. Anyways, moving on. Hey, more new product news. JL introduces 2 new products, one of which is really kind of what I was interested in talking about here. And let me pull up the picture of it. No. Oh, where the heck is my picture?
You get it?
No, I don't know where. Oh, here it is. Found it. It was the last page. Let me switch over to this. There we go. Oh, good. Pulled yours up. Yours is bigger. No. JL's introduced a new Bronco box. That's right. For those of you that have Broncos and you're hoping to put the subwoofer back where the factory subwoofer goes, this is it. This is the one for you. Retail price is $1,200. The little square thing next to it is the factory grill cover. So if you're buying the one like we did the other day that just has a pocket, and we made our own grill to go over it because we removed the pocket and we wanted a vent for the amplifiers, they have this grill here that will go in and go into place so that you can get some boomity boom out of the holy hole. This, of course, if you want to mount the subwoofer behind the panel, this is the alternative to do that. As in typical JL fashion, they try to keep the car looking as factory as possible. Stealth box being the name of that. So pretty cool there. I don't know. I mean, that's up to you. This is a niche. They're filling it. It's a JL. We'll move on.
Yeah.
Hey, look, it's us. Let's go back to here. And doom. Okay. So we talked about this story before, and I think we've had versions of this story in and out of conversations for a while now. BMW no longer charge subscription fees for heated seats. Okay, so all right, let's back up just a little bit and let's talk about what this is. Now, you and I talk about this a lot.
We argue a lot. Yes.
Well, no, as family men.
Yeah.
You know, in trying to decide, which we just had this conversation yesterday. We were talking about cable. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I was like, I never watch cable TV anymore. You've since cut the cord just out of necessity for paying your bills in life, because it's like cable's freaking outrageous. Mm-hmm. I currently have Spectrum, which is negotiated with Disney right now. So we have no Disney channels whatsoever on Spectrum, mm-hmm. which I wouldn't even have known if the girls wouldn't have told me, because they can't watch football, which sucks big time. And they've issued a credit, which I can only imagine how much that is. It's like probably $5 a month or something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, well, they're losing subscribers by the minute. It's just people are just leaving them to go to anyone else that has their football, because to lose your, anyways, monthly subscriptions are a pain in the ass, and we all have them. And it seems to be the way of the future. Apps on your phone now have monthly subscriptions. You could pay as much as $5 to $10 a month to have an app on your phone, which is asinine, because who's using it enough to justify that amount of money? It just absolutely makes no sense. Don't get me wrong. I would love to have something which I could charge people $5-6 a month for something they typically don't use. And we do have Patreon that people pay us $3 a month for. And I keep it as low as possible because I do like the pledge. However, I'm not going to, you know, I don't want to be the guy that charges you $20 a month, although it seems like everyone else is. So between, you know, Netflix, gym memberships, Hulu, Max Plus, Paramount, there's every goddamn thing is taxing us per month now.
Yeah.
I buy a car, my last peaceful place on the earth that I can shut the doors and not think about the world as a whole. I can just stare off into the abyss and drive to work, listen to my awesome music, but my butt is cold. And so for $15 a month, I can have a warm butt. Are you kidding me? Like, what? That's insanity. And apparently they think so too, because here in the US, we're just not going to pay that. Like, we're like, you're nickel and diming the hell out of us. First off, it's a BMW, for God's sakes. Like, I've already paid a premium for the car. And then you're going to tell me. Now, keep in mind, I can go buy a Kia that has 10 times more features and looks probably almost sexier in some regards for a quarter of the price, and have every goddamn feature under the sun.
For sure.
Okay. But, it's not the luxury of driving pinkies out a BMW and getting charged.
Buy a BMW logo, put it on, and done.
Yeah. You just hotwire off the. So, anyways, it's a money grab for sure. It's a money grab for sure. Probably cooled seats are included. You know, if you want a warm butt, if you want a cold butt, you got to pay extra.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if they're still going to charge a subscription for the remote start service though. Probably. So some of the things that they call premium services, they're going to still charge for, but seats are something they're not. I find this ridiculous. For the amount of money we're paying for cars here in the U.S. is just asinine for them to like want to nickel and dime us for buying their car. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, you're charging me $1,000 a month to own this car, and then you want another $12 on top of that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you just got $70,000 for the car on a cheap car.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking $120,000 for a car.
Yeah.
Are you out of your flipping minds?
But that's what they say, you know, like to do Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, they still wanted to charge you an extra charge. And it's like, these guys are insane.
Dave says, I bought a Telluride, got heated seats front and rear.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, the thing is like, hey guys, look around the market and see what everybody else is doing. I get it. We would all love as individuals to have some form of a passive income that somebody just like pays you for, I don't know, doing something you've already done. Well, the cell phone companies have been doing this for years, but even they finally figured out like, well, listen, we can't do this anymore. You know, we have to just, here's what it costs, you know, that's it, you know, because the simplicity of things is what we all want. I recently had a credit card of mine hacked, and it was linked to certain accounts, and they all go off to an email that I never read. And for some reason, the other day I read it, and it was all these, we can't use this, it's like, hey, you're going to be terminated. You're going to be terminated. I was like, oh, well, isn't that awesome? I didn't even know I had half of them. So I was like, oh, this is cool. So actually somebody stealing my card did me a favor. You know, I could cancel some of the subscriptions I didn't really want.
There you go.
You know,
so,
but
the guy steal the credit card. Thank you so much.
Yeah, there you go. A warm butt for $15 a month. I mean, hey, it is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I feel there are things in life we will gladly pay for, and there's things in life we don't want to pay for. I'm also a big fan of annual charges. Like, just bill me once a year. I get it. But, I mean, we almost can't do that anymore because everyone is charging us a month. So it's like, you know, I had a few things that I have their annual charges that hit me this month. And I was like, oh, why did I do them both in September? Like, Jesus, I'd like to split that up. But, yeah, I just, oh, no, here you go.
That's crazy.
Got to pay for the seatbelts. Yeah, no, sorry, man. No seatbelts. Airbags are extra. Yeah, definitely airbags are, yeah.
If you want to airbag,
I need to chill on my OnlyFans subscription. Hey, you know, whatever. There you go. YouTube Premium is a must for me. And there again, I feel we are not willing to pay for it. We know we are because we see it every day.
No, I think you don't have an option now.
Well, it's death by 1,000 cuts. It's always going to be death by 1,000 cuts because we're all just, $10 here, $5 there, $20 there. You know, I mean, gym membership is the best thing in the world because, you know, everyone has a gym membership that nobody actually uses. You know, I mean, I was like, hey, girls, could you go and cancel it? Because they wanted us to try a new gym. And so they still had their old gym membership. And I was like, could you guys go cancel that? Oh, yeah, we'll do that.
Oh, wow.
You know, 6 months later, it's like, that was $120 you guys wasted on nothing. You know, like, yeah, but it happens all day long because we all look at it like, it's $10. You know, I was paying for a Flickr account for like 5 years. Yeah. And I was like, I haven't used this thing in 5 years. Why am I still paying $10 a month? That's an obscene amount of money. Like, but hey, we all pay it, and car manufacturers want in on it too. But to some regards, they're having a little less.
What is worth it? It's Mike's OnlyFans. That's for sure.
Oh, Mike's OnlyFans is definitely a yes. Yes. For those of you, reach out to Mike. And you can find him at Boston Mike.
That is true.
Boston Mike on OnlyFans, and if you're nice, they'll send you a discount code. So
there you go.
Big membership, lots of creamy white sauce. Boston creamy white sauce. Remember, they make Boston donuts.
Yeah.
Boston cream pies. You know, all creamy white all day long. Hey guys, heads up on Chinese cars. Do you know that they charge 20? Basically, it's 23.5, but we'll just call it 24 because that's too many words.
Sure.
24% tariffs on Chinese cars.
That was not 27%.
Was it 27?
27%.
It could be. I'll defer to you on that one. But Jesus.
Yeah.
So here's the funny part. So when you look at electric cars, China's basically kicking the ass of everybody in the world. Go figure. Mm-hmm. But it's not because they are communist and they have, you know, cheap labor and all this other stuff. It's because they own all the lithium and cobalt that it takes to make the batteries. So even if we wanted to come at them full on, we still got to buy the batteries from them because they have all the materials. It's not, and it's not that it's like, we should do it in America. We don't have the materials to make them. They own the deposit. Their country has the places where these things are at, and or they've gone to the countries that have them and basically bought that part of the country.
Yeah.
So
they have the facilities.
They have things we don't have. But
we could. Yes, we could, but it's gonna be like
probably
super
not.
expensive.
Yeah. Then it's so the average, like this car here is $11,000 American.
Go to China.
That's $11,000 car. Keep in mind, if you brought it over America, you got to charge 27% tariff on it. So, and there again, it's probably 100% tariff at that point, or 300% tariffs at that point, just because of all the other tariffs on tariffs that you got to add to it.
That's true.
So it's funny because, you know, Ford has come out and said, hey, listen, our competitors are not GM and Dodge. It's these
Toyota,
guys, or Toyota. It's these guys.
Yeah.
On the world market, which is where they play, these guys are just kicking everybody's ass. They are the number one electric car on the planet. They don't even sell in the U.S. So figured that one out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't really have an opinion on this story one way or the other. I just thought it was interesting to know that this is an $11,000 car. Here in the U.S., of course, cars have gotten to the point to where they don't even, and $10,000 to ship. Oh yeah. No, I get it. There's all the little caveats, but listen, we're buying cars from all over the country, right? I mean, all over the world. It's not that, but cars in the U.S. are getting out of control as far as how much these things cost. It's going to come to a point to where we just can't buy cars here in the U.S. I mean, or we're not going to be able to buy a Ford or a GM or, and there again, there is some kind of, what was the name of that company? The Pulsar. Pulsar is opening a manufacturing plant here in the U.S. We used to be a Swedish company, got bought by the Chinese. Now they're going to be making them here in the U.S. because that's the cheapest way to make a car. But
they planning to bring it over here, next year.
What, the Pulsar?
No,
no, not this. That was a different company. Pulsar is a more expensive.
No. Nah, I'm just saying that this company,
Pulsar, but that's not Pulsar. That's the
no. That's
the Pulsar is going to open a manufacturing plant here in the U.S. So they can sell cars here in the U.S. and avoid a lot of the tariffs that are coming.
Yeah.
My point is regardless of whether you're an American or you're all into, it's a global market out there, people, and we have to play in it. So it's really, really interesting. We just found the world's largest deposit of lithium in the world. Yes, here in the U.S. I did see that. The problem is we found it here in the U.S. Okay, and as well as I do, trying to get something out of the ground here. Oh, the environmentalists just lose their goddamn minds. So, though we found it, we might not actually be able to get to it because there could be an owl of some kind that inhabits the trees around it, and if we remove it from the ground. Well, or whatever chemical there's a lot of things that just because we find it here in the U.S., the laws might prohibit us from going to get it, or just the people,
Just the people.
So, I heard this too, and I was like, oh, well, that sucks. That's why they go buy up all these third world countries because they can just tear it apart and not care. Sad.
Now you talk about electric cars. Have you seen the news of these driving cars? That they just you have is like an Uber. You happen.
They have them in Vegas.
Driving,
they have them in Vegas.
And they have so many problems.
Of
they
course.
Are in streets, it's insane.
Well, this is all from the robber barons of the turn of the century when the Carnegies and all those guys were and the Steels were we had just dumping it into the water and poisoning the water. That's why up north it's the way it is. I get it, and that's my point. Is that at some point someone's going to stop it from happening. I mean, we have a phosphate plant here in Florida, and it did some crap, and it went crazy and just started dumping shit everywhere. And it's like, oh, it's fine. It's not poisoning the aquifer. Yeah, it probably is. We're all going to have 3 heads, and all our kids are going to be disformed. And sounds awesome, right? There you go, Chinese 1890 capitalism. And there again, not to make this political, it's just interesting to see how, like, some of us are all for electric cars. I'm more of a hybrid guy. If I had to have one, I still want a motor. I don't mind having that. I think that's more my speed. I don't know. I did electric RC cars when I was a kid, and I kind of feel like if I buy a Tesla, I'm just buying that. I know what happens when the battery goes dead. So I gotta sit there and do this. Glad I got this new toy I can't play with.
Yeah.
This sucks. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. Hey, whatever. With that, believe it or not, guys, is the news. Oh my gosh, we had a good time and we avoided all arguments. How cool is that? Not really.
Oh man.
I know. Hey guys, it's Friday, which means tomorrow is Saturday. That's what that means. That's all it means. Some of you guys are going to bang through today as quickly as humanly possible. Mary Lou's texting me right now. And that's wonderful. And then you have tomorrow off. We do not. So that means tomorrow we're going to be doing our Saturday live show. We took a break last week because I went and did some Disney stuff with my friend Ada. But this week we are back to have lots of fun. And, you know, I think I'm going to have another DSP talk. You know, I think I've come up with another button to play with and talk to you guys about. But with that, you guys go forth, be merry. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, where we will be going live at some point. It's someday. This week we've been off. It's been a bad week for us. Just things have been, not in the best of moods to do stuff like that. So we avoid you the heartache. But hey, it's Friday and it's always fun. So you guys go forth, be merry, have a wonderful Friday, and we'll see you guys either later on Instagram or tomorrow on the live show. Get your questions queued up and we'll get them answered.
Bye, guys.